I mean, that's super
I don't know.
fascinating, and I actually love to go back to the goal setting again because, I mean, you mentioned it throughout now, but you saying you made those goals, but because anyone can make goals, right? You can say
Right.
whatever, 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 but to me, it sounds like you also consciously looked at those goals, asking yourself, well, how do I get better?
Right.
Whatever, like jazz, whatever, or transcribe whatever you said.
Yeah.
And to my ear, at least, that sounds like that's what made you complete those goals. Is that
Right.
correct?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm.
Because you're right. Having the goals, but not having an active component of a way to achieve them. Yeah. That's sort of almost an exercise in depression because I'd go, oh, great. Look at this thing I didn't do, which I've done plenty of as well. But having them and thinking, how can I achieve these? I mean, I there are certain things that are purely out of my control. I can't convince a TV show to hire me. And I will say that's where I feel some luck did absolutely play a part. But if I make enough relationships and I'm playing every night in LA and I'm making friends and I'm proving that I care about what others would, I think, agree is, I don't want to use that word, but putting a premium on the artistry and the creativity versus being a schmoozer. I really put a premium on caring about the art. It's just a matter of time before those opportunities present. So yeah, you're right. I would look at those goals and I would think, well, how would I get in a late night show? And more importantly, what would I need to be good at to make sure I don't get fired? What do I gotta be good at? Well, I gotta be good at learning songs very quickly. I have to be able to, have someone go 3, 2, go. That's what the people on the first AD does. They're counting down from 5, but you never know. 5, 4. Oh, okay, just go. So I got to be able to have ice in my veins. I have to be able to sight read in case someone presents me with a piece they wrote in the band. I got to read it. So I thought I want to do this. I'm 18. I don't know anyone in the television industry that would hire me as a late night guitarist. But what I can do is work on my sight reading and work on learning songs quickly and seeing if I can memorize them fast. And then I can go to jam sessions later that night and get up on stage with old people not old people is the wrong word, but old veterans is what I mean. Veterans, when I'm 19. And I will come up at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. and I'll play any song they want me to. I mean, a perfect example is this. I was 16 and a half or 17 looking at colleges in New York City. And I went to Smalls Jazz Club in New York City. Walked downstairs. It's a very legendary place in a very small room, and it was 1:30 a.m. I had just gotten a pamphlet from Manhattan School of Music and Juilliard. I was going to potentially apply to them, and I sat in. And there was this 35, 40-year-old piano player, and they started playing a song that I had never heard that has really intense changes. I learned after that the song was called Stella by Starlight. It changes chords every 2 beats, and it goes through about 4 or 5 keys. I was 17 and I decided I would rather put myself out there and explore and learn than stay small and just have these dreams that are not actualized. So I'd already had these goals. I thought, well, how am I going to get good at being able to play on a late night show when I got to throw myself into the fire now when there's no consequences. So I sat in. I didn't know what song we were playing. The changes are really hard. And by the second round of the changes, I had learned the song. And then thankfully by then he said solo and I soloed over it. And afterwards he said, you didn't know that song, did you? I said, no, what's it called? He said, it's called Stella by Starlight, but that's pretty impressive. How old are you? I said, 17. He's like, okay. Want to do another tune? I said, yeah. So, I mean, those sort of experiences, how was I able to do that? Well, from 15 to 17, I was doing music theory work all the time. So you're right. There are very specific goals. And if someone out there is listening is going, how do I get into the music industry? Absolutely move to Nashville, New York, LA, sure. There's some practical things for sure. And then once you're there, there's probably time to do an hour to 2 hours a day of practicing. What can I practice that'll help me have those gigs? If you're already a great sight reader and you're already an amazing, can learn songs quickly and just hear them once or twice and play over them and improvise over them, well then perhaps the skill to develop, if it's not developed yet, is networking, meaning making friends, being a fun person to be around and being curious about others. Maybe that's the skill. Perhaps if that's already really developed, it's focusing on, God, what else is there out there? Maybe background vocals, making yourself more valuable. I can do both. I can also sing background, working on my singing. There are so many things that so many directions it can go for someone who's wanting to build a career in the music industry. And my motto has always been, just stay curious. What's exciting for me? Today I want to learn this, I want to learn that. And that curiosity gives you fuel. And, as Red Bull would say, it gives you wings. You're focusing not on being perfect and performing, but on being curious. What is out there that I can learn? And that, I'll tell you, that has served me better than any other piece of advice I could ever give or any perspective I could offer.
Mm-hmm.